Hello viewers, good to have you at this time again, where we discuss likely JAMB Economics past questions. Please settle down and let us run together with these questions. One, marginal cost is. The word marginal means additional, extra cost, okay? The lowest cost of producing goods, the cost of production of the most efficient firm in the industry, the cost of production of the most inefficient firm, the cost of production of the last of extra units. Option D, of course, is the most correct answer. The cost of producing extra units. Okay? The next question. The price mechanism regulates. Now, what is price mechanism? Price mechanism simply means the interactions between the forces, the market forces, that is demand and supply. The interactions of the market forces, the invisible ends in the market, demand and supplies, to determine what? Price. So the price mechanism regulates supply and demand, rations the consumers, rewards the producers, allocates scarce resources, does all of the above. The correct answer is option E. It does all of the above. You know, because in the course of consumer making his decision to buy, is being rational, right? And of course, when you buy, you reward the producer. So, and you allocate your resources properly, that's why you're making a rational decision. Does all of the above. Option E is the correct answer. In a free market economy, the rationing, we just mentioned rationing right now, of scarce goods is done principally by the government, the business organization, the price mechanism, the consumer. It's just a consolidation to number 2 question. The price mechanism is the one that is operational in the free market economy. By the way, free market economy is known as what? Capitalist economy or liberal economy. Okay? Very well. So you can't do without the price mechanism. The opposite of price mechanism is price control, which is common with the socialist economy. Okay? Very well. The next option, C, is the correct answer. The next question. Scale of preference shows incomes of consumers in order of size, utilities enjoyed by consumers, opportunity cost of goods consumed, consumers' want in order of priority, the want of individual of consumer in order of importance, in order of urgency, in order of importance, or in order and how pressing they are, that's priority. Option D is the correct answer. Okay. The next question. There is unemployment of resources when production is within PPC. You know PPC now. We have done a lot on PPC on this channel. Please, you can check some of our previous videos on economics where we discuss PPC. This is PPC, production possibility curve. All right. We said any point within inside is underutilization. Where this is anyone along is what? Optimal utilization. Anyone above is overutilization. All right. So, when resources are, that means underutilization means resources are not fully utilized. These one resources are fully utilized, overutilized. Okay. So, there is unemployment of resources. Check this table I just drew on the screen. There is unemployment of resources when production is unemployment is within the production. This is within, that is fully utilized. Okay. Outside, that's overutilization. Then along the production is C. So within means inside. Inside, that's under, within, that is inside the curve. That's underutilization, okay? Which means the resources are not fully utilized, okay? Outside is over, while along is full utilization. So the answer is A, option A, within, that is inside the curve. Option A is the correct answer, okay? Then we go on. In manufacturing, division of labor may be hindered by excessive demand for the product low level of technology, excess supply of labor, increase in export goods. The answer is low level of technology. It's the level of technology that determines the level of your division of labor. Okay? Low level of technology, low division of labor. High level of technology, high level of division of labor. Option B is the correct answer. The production cost that varies inversely with output is inversely, that's oppositely, is what? Is the total fixed cost. Because total fixed cost, total fixed cost is inverse, is inversely proportional, all right, to the output. Inversely proportional to the output. Very well. Average fixed cost. The average fixed cost is inversely proportional. Because average fixed cost equals what? Average fixed cost equals to total fixed cost over output. So they are inversely proportional. Inverse. They are inversely proportional. Average fixed cost. Okay? The next question. A firm that closes down will still incur variable cost, fixed cost, total cost, marginal cost. The answer is fixed cost. For building, for some machineries, your capital goods, you still continue paying even when you have shut down. Okay? Offices, fixed costs. Option B is the correct answer. The sufficient condition for a firm to be in a crude loan is that the firm must show that it's profitable, marginal cost must be equal to average revenue. No, marginal revenue curve is above the average revenue, marginal cost curve. The answer is option D. The marginal cost curve cut the marginal revenue curve below. Cut it below to show that the revenue is higher than it's the same with what higher than the cost. Cut below. Option D is the correct answer. Corporate society are formed mainly to do what? To assist producers to maximize their profit, encourage trade and credit among members, promote and maintain the welfare of members, break the monopolies of private. The answer is what? Encourage trade and credit among members. Option B is the correct answer as far as cooperative society is concerned. They encourage their members to save, that is to contribute, and then raise credit from that. All right? Option B is the correct answer. An example of transfer payment in national income account. What is transfer payment? Transfer payment is any payment you receive without working for it. It's like gifts. It's like grants. Whatever money you receive without working, no service render for, no service render, no good provided. It's called what? Transfer payment. Money transferred to another country, unemployment allowance paid to the citizen, the amount paid to a worker on transfer is a worker. So if it's a worker, it's still working. So whatever you are paying because it's working. Transfer of funds from one bank to another. No. The answer is unemployment allowance paid to citizens. There are some countries, not in Nigeria anyway, for all citizens who at working age but are not able to secure a good job to do, the government gives them a form of lively allowance. We call it unemployment allowance to sustain them till when they will get a job to do. So option B is that's what they call transfer payment. It is deductible from the national income. Okay, that is option B. Increasing national income without effective control of population size in a country can lead to high per capita income, increase in poverty, increase in outflow rate, underutilization resources. You know that normally if population is increasing and national income is decreasing, then what? The population will be greater than what? National income. And then it will lead to what? Possibly overpopulation. Alright? But in this case, it said that national income is increasing. Alright? It's increasing. But there's no control on population size, which means population too will also be increasing. And when population continues to increase, the rate of increase, when it's higher, and this one is going arithmetic progression, while this one is going geometric progression. The implication is that there will be overpopulation. Are you there? And more people will enter into poverty. Huh? So increase in poverty, since there's no control on population. Because the more national income increase, people have access to money, the more some people want to take more wives, born more children, and live large and all those stuffs. Okay? So there will be more poverty in the land. Increase in poverty, option B. An example of commodity money is a money that's a commodity. gold, silver, and what have you. Bronze, diamond, they are commodity money. So the answer is silver. Option D is the correct answer. D. Okay? If inflation is anticipated, people may save more money, spend more money, give out more loans. Spend. Let me ask you, if you are anticipating that there will be increase in prices of goods and services, what do you do with the money in your hand? You spend it. You buy. Because if you don't buy it now, when inflation comes, that money cannot be able to buy it again. So what happens? People spend more money. When you are anticipating that inflation will come, people will spend. Inflation is when there is general increase in prices of goods and services. People spend more money. Option B is the correct answer. If the central bank increase bank rate is increased, what do you think will happen? If bank rate is increased, it means that there won't be enough money for the bank, because banks will not want to collect more money at that higher rate. And if they don't collect more money at higher rate, they won't be able to have enough money to give to their customers. So customers, there will be less money in circulation for customers. This is one of the ways that the central bank can control inflation. When there's inflation, they increase bank rates. So one way or the other, reduce supply of money in circulation. Let's see, what's the option saying that? Many banks will shut down their operation. No, customers will borrow more money. They can't borrow because the rate is very high. So people will not want to borrow at that rate. The supply of money may be reduced, of course. Interest charges by bank will fall. It cannot fall, it has already gone up. Bank cannot be collecting higher rates and be collecting at falling rates. It's not possible. So the answer is what? The supply of money will reduce. The supply of money will reduce. And that is, we're going through that at the moment in Nigeria. Okay? Now, to get a loan from the bank, I think the minimum you can get is 27%. Some bank has as much as 33, 34, 35% of interest on any loan you collect. So what kind of business are you going to do with this 35% of loan you collected and still make your own profit and return their money? Okay? So money supply will reduce because the bank will not want to collect more money at that rate, and they will not have enough money to give to their customers. Option C is the correct answer. Palm oil and palm kernel are in joint supply, competitive demand, competitive supply, complementary demand. When you demand for palm oil, you also get, when you demand for palm kernel, you get palm oil. So they are complementary, they are jointly demanded, they are together, inseparable, they go together. They are complementary demand. Complementary demand. Option D is the correct answer. A supply curve parallel to the S-axis indicates this is Y-axis, this is S-axis. When supply curve is like this, mind you, supply curve normally should be what? Should be like this. This should be supply curve. Alright? But when supply curve is not parallel to the S-axis, that is horizontal, what do you call that? The answer is what? Infinitely elastic. Why? The price still remains the same. Price is not changed. But supply can be changing. It's the supply that is changing. Are you with me? So that's infinitely elastic. That is, the end of elasticity is not known. The length of change is not known. It just goes like that. Option B is the correct answer. Infinitely elastic. The next question. If the marginal utility of commodity is equal to its price, then the consumer, of course, consumer is in equilibrium. If your utility, what you are getting is equal to the price, that means you as a consumer, you are already in equilibrium. You're enjoying, you're in equilibrium. Option A is the correct answer. Okay? The next question. A price floor. We have done something like that. What is a price floor? It means the lowest price. Bringing down, reducing the price, bringing down the price. A price floor, the lowest price, usually fees at equilibrium and causes no shortage, above equilibrium and causes shortage, below equilibrium and causes surplus, above the equilibrium and causes surplus, below equilibrium and causes surplus. You know, if you bring it down, let's assume this is the original price, equilibrium price, okay? Equilibrium price, all right? So when you do floor means the lowest price possible, below equilibrium. That lowest price means what? There will be plenty, at the initial run, but eventually the price will still go back to equilibrium as more and more is being purchased. All right, surplus. Option C is correct for that question. A firm's average cost decreases in the long run because your average cost, increasing returns to scale, diminishing average returns, decreasing marginal returns, decreasing average fixed cost. There's an increasing return to scale, which is the benefits you get at the long run. Your average cost will keep decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. The benefit of the long run, because you get perfected with the production line and production system and the steps and the divisions. So increasing return to scale will lead to this at the end of the day. As you have increasing return to scale, your cost of average cost means the cost per unit will become to reduce. Remember, the average cost is what your total cost over what your quantity. You have to continue to reduce. As it's reducing, it's because of what increasing return to scale. All right. A is the correct answer. I hope you're enjoying value today. Please subscribe to the channel for more values and also share the link with your friends so that they can also enjoy what you're enjoying. Demand pull inflation is likely to be caused by demand is pulling. In other words, the inflation is a result of demand that is calling for it. Okay? We have cost push, which is the cost of production. Then we have demand pulling. An increase in the cost of factor input, increase in income tax rate, increase in bank lending rate, increasing in large budget deficit. The answer is D. What is a budget deficit? Deficit means expenditure is greater than what? Receipts, income. So your government is spending more. The more they are spending more, the more you are releasing more money to circulation, the more people are having more access to money, and the more they are making more demands. And as they are making more demand, it's pulling inflation to come. Okay? So increasing large budget deficits. Holding money to take care of contingency. The word contingency means emergency. Emergency. Unforeseen circumstances. What you don't plan for may happen. So what do you call such money? Speculative, transactionary, precautionary, expansionary. The answer is what? Precautionary. Option C. Precautionary. Transaction is money you keep for daily expenses. What you spend for daily, your transport, your feeding. Speculative is the money you keep for investment, special purpose. Okay? Alright? One precaution is the money you keep for emergency, contingency, unforeseen circumstances that may happen. Alright? I wonder how many people have money for emergency. Precautionary, because even the one you have for transaction, as your transaction has already consumed most of the money you have because of the rate of the economy. Okay? Precautionary motive. Option C is the correct answer. If a housewife has meat and wants tomatoes, she must find someone who has tomatoes to give and wants meat. This concept is class, that's trade by barter. That's barter trade before the introduction of money. The scale of preference, opportunity cost, complementary demand. That's what called double coincidence of wants. That is trade by barter. Option D is the correct answer. Trade by barter. Option D, double coincidence of money, of wants. The stock exchange, an example, stock exchange market we have in Nigeria, that deals with stocks, bonds, shares, and what have you. Is an example of labor market, money market, commodity market, capital market. The answer is capital market, where we buy bonds and shares, capital market. Option D is the correct answer. Well, anyway, bank is an example of money market where you get short-term loan. Short term. This one, you buy stocks, investment in capital markets. 24. That is option D. The next question, what happens when the central bank increases bank rate? And we just mentioned that in our few questions. When you increase bank rates, what happens? Borrowing is discouraged. Customer increase their borrowing, banks can increase their lending, money supply increases. Is money supply decrease? That was the answer we choose now. The money supply will decrease. So borrowing is discouraged. Why? The rate is very high. I just give instance that we are getting 35 or 37% as interest rate for money we are borrowing for a small scale business. What are you going to use the business to do? And pay back within 6 months or 1 year from commercial banks. How do you make your profit? How do you survive? How do you float? How do you pay your bills? So it discourages borrowings because money supply will also want decrease. It will decrease. So bank too will not have they will not be able to increase their lending because they too will have less because of the rate of the central bank. Option A is the correct answer. Borrowing is discouraged. And that's what we have in Nigeria today. An electrical engineer who is teaching physics in a secondary school is said to go, is underemployed. You're supposed to be an engineer. Engineering in your area of specialization. You're not any class teaching. You're underemployed. We have many of people like that are underemployed. Some study, I have someone who study petrochemical engineering. He's teaching a class, teaching chemistry. That is underemployed. A is the correct answer. Okay? One benefit a country can derive from the extraction of crude oil is increase in as you extract crude oil. You get oil and you extract the product, so many byproducts from crude oil. It's increase in population, employment, money supply, demand for employment. Because there will be chains of products and then chains of engagement of labor along the line. So there will be increase in employment. Option B is the correct answer. Which of the following cannot be classified as a natural resource? Iron rod, wildlife, solar energy, gold. Iron rod is made by man, it's man-made. It's created, it's manufactured by man. So iron rod is not a natural resources. Option A is the correct answer. The International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBR, that's World Bank, performs the following functions except, now all these are functions of World Bank, except one. Granting long-term loans, yes. Assisting with technical expert, yes. Reducing tariff among members. What does tariff means? Import duties. What has that got to do with World Bank? Developing human resources, yes. Okay, there's so many projects that are targeted at human development by World Bank. Okay, seminars, trainings, and what have you to equip laborers. All right, but this one is particular with WTO, World Trade Organization, not IBRD. So option C is not in line with this particular question. C is the correct answer. The next question, MPC, that's marginal propensity to consume plus marginal propensity to save equals what? 1. What to save, what to consume, what to save together is what? 1 for one source of income. Option C is the correct answer, so that we don't waste time on that. MPC means marginal propensity to consume. MPS marginal propensity to save. Your capacity or your tendency to save or to consume equals 1. Producers operating in a free market, remember free market economy, that's a liberal economy, capitalist economy, are more efficient as a result of what? Exempt of competition, government regulation of the activities, very few number of participants, commitment of the shareholders. Government regulation is what? Is socialist, planned economy. So the answer is what? A. The existence of competition. The existence of competition. A is the correct answer. Okay. In the event of bankruptcy, owners of joint stock company lose what? A joint stock company is also known as what? Limited liability company. In other words, my liability means loss. My loss is limited to the company. That's why I used to say it. My loss, my liability is limited to the company. Limited liability company, joint stock company. So both company and private assets, only the capital invested, only their dividends, their private, only the capital invested. My loss is limited to my company. So please, if you're able to follow with that, you'll be able to identify just stock company. Only the capital invested. Option B is the correct answer. My loss is limited, my liability is limited to my company, my capital. Okay? The main disadvantage of deflationary policy is full employment in the country, increasing cost of living, unemployment in the country, improving standard of living. Disadvantage of deflation. Disadvantage, not advantage. Disadvantage is unemployment. The unemployment in the country, what is deflation? You know, deflation is also about inflation. It means when prices continually what? Reduce of general goods and services. So when the prices are going down, the supplier and producers, they will not be willing to produce more. So there will be less engagement of labor. They will lay off less engagement of workers. Like unemployment in the country. Okay? If government in a fiscal year, that's a financial year, has its revenue receipts less than expenditure. Such country, I did this, I think I mentioned something like this. A deficit budget is when government is spending more than what is receiving. Receive is income, spending is what? Expenditure is spending, all right? Favorable, so the balanced budget is when expenditure equals what? Receipts. That's income equals expenditure. Surplus budget means when revenue is more than what? Expenditure. This was an opposite. So when the government has its revenue less, so its revenue receipt less than expenditure. In other words, expenditure is more than receipts. That's what do you call that? Deficit budget. You are spending more than what you are receiving. That's deficit budget. The Nigerian government has been having deficit budget over the years till now. And that's why you see they have to keep borrowing trillions and trillions every year to finance the budget. Because we are spending more than what we are receiving. Okay? Deficit budget. A firm's average cost decreases in the long run because of increasing return to scale. I think we have answered this question earlier. It's repeated. When there's increasing return to scale, then the average cost is decreasing. All right? No need to waste time on that. The next question. What is the median term in the distribution below? For it to be the median means the middle. The one in the middle, the number in the middle. To get that, the value in the middle, you have to rearrange either in ascending or descending order. So let's arrange it now. We have 12 here, then we have 13, then we have another 13, then we have 14, and now we have 15, and of course we have 17, and the last one we have 29. I think we have all of them now. 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. So the median is the middle. What do? You count from the front. 1, 2, 3, you stop here. From the back, 1, 2, 3, you stop here. So the middle number is 14. A is the option, correct answer. 14 is the correct answer because that is the middle, the number that fell in the middle. All right? That's the median term, or the middle value. 14, option A, is the correct answer. The next question, the formula used by the expenditure approach to calculate, national income, we have many methods, many approaches to calculate national income. We have output approach, we have income approach, then we have expenditure approach. Okay, so the one for expenditure approach is talking about the expenses. You must have government expenditure in it. If there's no government expenditure in it, then it's not correct. Okay, and remember that when we talk about net product or net income, either net product or net income from abroad, we are talking about the difference between X and M. That is export minus import. This must be like this to plus it with what we have as government. So let's see. This one is saying this is not correct, nothing like this. Okay, this also not correct because X and import are not together. This is also not correct, they're not together. So correct answer is what? Y equals consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus export in bracket minus import. So option B is the most correct answer. You can see they are all expenses. You consume, you spend. Investment, you also spend, though, to multiply. Government, G, expenditure. So this is the correct answer. Option B is the most correct answer. Correct. Okay, for expenditure approach. Then we'll go to the next one. If the marginal utility of commodity is equal to its price, then consumer is in equilibrium. This question is also repeated, but answered it before, not to waste time. Option D is the correct answer. When combination of two goods which a consumer derives equal satisfaction is plotted on a graph, when you draw graph, for Milo and Bonvita, equal satisfaction for the consumer, what do you call it? We call it indifference curve. It is called indifference curve. Option D, indifference curve for consumer having two products, satisfying him, is plotted on a curve. We call indifference curve. All right? Just as we round off, let's look at this together. The comparison of the standard of living between Nigeria and Ghana is based on through the use of G, gross national income, that's GNI, PCI, per capita income, net national income, NNI, net revenue income, the answer is what? PCI, per capita income, which equals what? The population, the national income over population. Okay, so the lower it is, the lower your PCI. The higher it is, the higher your PCI. So that is a very good standard of measuring the standard of living between two countries. Now, I was checking up, standard of living in a PCI in Nigeria is less than $1,000. Less than 1,000. That of Ghana is, I think, it's above $2,000. So Ghana is having higher PCI than Nigeria. With this question, today we have come to the end of this session. I hope you got value for this session. Please subscribe to the channel to get more value, and also share this link with your friends so that they also will enjoy value as you do.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 types of different exams.